2 people are dead, including a high school senior, after a fight led to a shooting in Fort Worth. Fox 4's Dion England joining us now with the latest on this investigation. Dion.
Hi there. A barrage of gunfire near this park claimed the life of a 17-year-old girl. Another victim from the same shooting died at a hospital. It has rattled many in the community and left them asking why.
As I hear boom, 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 boom.
Giselle Henderson lives on the block behind the Fort Worth Park at Liberty Street and East Rosedale.
Frequently over here, there are gunshots and there are also fireworks. So I had my brain on like, okay, let me decipher what it is. And there were so many of them. And toward the end, they slowed down and got kind of erratic. So I realized there were gunshots. Bring the ambulance in.
Henderson began to post this live recording on her social media account, just as the chaotic shooting scene investigation unfolded. Investigators say 17-year-old Dunbar High School senior Sienna Boone was killed near the park, where police say there had been close to 24 people gathered.
On the initial details from the call at the park, they say that it was a large gathering.
Welcome to the video, everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. This is Justin Paul. So I'm doing a reaction here to news clipping that came out of Fort Worth, where 2 were killed in a park. Apparently there was a large gathering, and there was, a fight, maybe multiple fights, and which resulted in a shooting. Very, very tragic. So my condolences and my heart goes out to the families of the 2 victims in this shooting. And new day, same activity. I'm sure it was teens because the one of the girls, as they were detailing that, was killed. She was a senior in high school, so I'm sure it was teens that were involved. And it's really become an epidemic as far as teens and guns and shooting. And it's been like this, man, for really a long time, man. I can't even put a number on how many years it's been like this, but it's starting to reach, man, a real dangerous peak, because more and more of these incidents are happening where teens are either shooting up Christmas tree lightings, malls, meeting up. Everyone's kind of getting together, meeting up, maybe putting the word out on social media to meet up, or in group text messages, or what have you. And guys are packing, man. Youngest 13, 14, on up. They're packing heat. And I think if you do have any young ones, especially young men in your lives, you do want to talk to them about guns. And if they do have a gun, maybe inquire about where they got the gun from. Maybe teach them a little bit about gun safety, and let them know having a gun at that age really isn't a good idea. Now, everyone's environment is different, because some people come from environments where they're at war, gang and groups, and it's just violence all around them, so they feel like they have to have a gun in order to survive. But typically, man, when you play by the gun, you're gonna end up dying by the gun. I've always heard that saying, and a lot of times it really just, it stands true. Or you're going to end up doing something that's going to put yourself in a position to where you would not have your freedom anymore, So I'm going to let this continue here, because I think another teen was injured in this shooting.
So we don't know the relationship, but there was a large group at the park where the first incident was reported.
A second call to police overlapped the investigation. Another shooting victim was reported nearby in the 1700 block of Handley Drive.
While we were investigating those 2 calls, we noticed that they were possibly related to each other, which they were. Some of the details that we gathered yesterday was that that suspect vehicle fled or drove away from the park and ended up on Hanley Drive. So that's how they are connected.
At the Hanley Drive scene, a young man in a vehicle who'd been shot was taken to a hospital where he died from his injuries. A second person from that vehicle was detained for questioning.
So we are getting all those details to see what part that third person played in the incident.
Police say the exact reason for the large gathering on Liberty Street is unclear, despite speculation that it stemmed from an argument that escalated to violence.
This is a very strict reminder. Children, don't meet up nowhere to go fight, because you might be there just supporting a friend of yours and you might leave the earth, unfortunately, and then your family has to deal with that pain.
Now, the identity of
that's like some real advice right there. I never think that it's a great idea to go meet up and fight. You don't know really what you're walking into. And like she was saying, man, you may be there just to support your friends and end up in the middle of something where you just had no business being there, and it could cost you your life. We have to take life a lot more serious and really cherish life, because life is very precious, and none of us know what time we'll leave this earth, and we really have to live every day to the utmost, man. And a lot of times, man, these disagreements, they're not really worth you dying over. It's just really not worth it.
Police have not announced any arrests in a deadly shooting at an East Fort Worth park yesterday. Steve Pickett reports now that the victims are teens.
Sienna Boone, a 17-year-old senior at Fort Worth's Dunbar High School. Her family and friends posting photos of her on social media today. The Fort Worth School District sending this email to Dunbar families. It says, "We've learned that senior Sienna Boone has passed away, and to keep her family and loved ones in your thoughts." The teenager, according to police, was shot and killed Monday afternoon at Stop 6 Park in Fort Worth. The police department here said 15 to 20 people were part of a gathering crowd here. A fight started, then gunfire. You can see the yellow evidence markings at shell casings. More than 24 shell casings marked at this crime scene.
That's a lot of shell casings. More than 24. So, that lets you know it was at least multiple guns that was drawn and was being shot. No telling the caliber of those guns. But we do know that, teens are able to get their hands on any type of guns, in multiple different ways. And, once gunfire starts going off, I always say in, all my videos, and this should be common knowledge, man. Bullets have no specific ways to go. They can go any way, ricochet off stuff. But once bullets start flying, they're going to hit anything that's in their path. And it's just real tragic that I'm a senior in high school, man. I'm sure the young lady had a bright future ahead of her. Could have been anything she wanted to be in life. Also, the other individual that was that passed away from his injuries that was found in the car, another young person could be anything they want to be in life, And sometimes our young people, man, they don't really look past tomorrow and stuff like that. But even if you make mistakes, man, multiple mistakes as you're growing up, you can always correct those. It just takes a little time, but if you're starting out in life, man, and you're just coming out of high school to where you have like a clean slate as far as being an adult, again, you can be anything you want to be in life, multiple things. The sky's the limit, you just got to know, man, it's something better than like meeting up, fighting, and life is just way better than that.
And just 2 miles away, police find this scene. An 18-year-old also with gunshot wounds. Police say it is tied to the park shooting as well. The victim is Frank Price Jr., 18 years old. The house where he was found, the resident of that home tells me Mr. Price had gone to that same park that afternoon, knowing a fight was planned there. Frank Price died at the hospital. There are public safety cameras all along this park. Police can access those recordings. At this point, they are not saying if those cameras show who shot and killed these teenagers.
Yeah, so of course there's always cameras, everywhere, and any places like parks and businesses and even street lights. They should have cameras. If they don't have cameras, of course now's the time to start getting cameras, because when stuff like this happens, you definitely want to be able to go and look at the footage and try to bring those to justice who have done, others harm. And of course, people are going to be talking. People have seen stuff. I'm sure people had their phones out, videoing fights and stuff like that before the shots rang out, or even running from shots and stuff like that. So I haven't checked like any social media to see if there's any like first-hand videos from this incident, but I'm sure there are. Again, my condolences to the families of these two teenagers. Um, definitely should still be here with us. Um, you know, just don't go to these large gatherings or go meet up to fight anyone. Be careful. What you do. Be careful of your steps, because you will put yourself into dangerous situations when you just walk into situations, especially situations that are completely out of your control. I'm gonna go ahead and just close out this video though. If you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.